Good evening and welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I'm Tamiru Nimsat. Let's have a look at the headlines. Colombo stock market sees a positive start in the new year. Agricultural landscape in the country to be modernized, Cabinet approves the proposal. News in detail. The Colombo stock market saw a positive start to the new year despite dismal investor activity, sparking mixed sentiments among market participants as the first trading day of the year 2024 was kicked off. The benchmark KSPI experienced a 30-point gain of 0.3%, while the active S&P SL20 managed a 16-point gain or 0.5%. This performance surpasses last year's opening, with ASPI up by 20 points or 0.2% and S&P SL20 up by 5 points or 0.19%. Market analysis from Asia Securities indicates that the positive momentum was fueled by price increases in key stocks such as CTC, COMBN, COMBX, ACL, HAYL and HAYC. Foreign investors recorded a net outflow of 10.6 million rupees. First Capital noted that the market maintained an upward trend, closing with a 30-point increase, with blue chip and banking counters contributing to this gain. NDB Securities highlighted institutional investor activity in Ceylon Tobacco Company and observed mixed interest in Expo Lanka Holdings, Hatton National Bank and Sampath Bank. The banking sector took the lead in market turnover, driven by Hatton National Bank, non-voting and Sampath Bank, with the sector index gaining 0.67%. The food, beverage and tobacco sector also made significant contributions to market turnover, particularly due to Ceylon Tobacco Company's performance. Financial author Ruchir Sharma said that Sri Lanka has to come up with alternative methods to offset the predicted lower working age population growth to counter its negative effect on the country's economic growth. The best-selling author said this delivering a seminar at the central bank premises in Colombo yesterday.
Sri Lanka's case also, now if you notice, the working age population projected to grow over the next 5-10 years is just 0.1% a year. That's a very low level. So it means that you almost need to do something else to offset this. So it's very difficult for Sri Lanka to grow at a rate of more than 6% when your working age population is only growing at 0.1%, unless you're catching up for the past, so you can do it for a while, or you have to rely on more immigration or on much greater automation, or you have to increase the retirement age for the labor force participation to increase, or the female participation in the labor force has to go up. Because typically in no country in the world is the female labor force participation at the same rate as the male participation. So that's one lever you can use to lift economic growth. But you can see here that Sri Lanka's working age population is projected to grow at just 0.1, which countries are growing very rapidly. And on the other hand, you have so many countries now in the world where the working age population is in fact shrinking.
Speaking at the event, the best-selling author also said that in order for a country to avoid economically damaging internal strife, the economic growth should be spread out to several big cities throughout the country.
If you look at most successful countries in the world, the growth tends to be spread out internally. It's not concentrated in one large city or one big metropolitan area. But some countries where growth tends to be very concentrated in one area often tend to face greater internal strife. Thailand is a leading example of that. That so much of Thailand, is a relatively large country with a population of 70-80 million, yet a lot of the population is there in Bangkok. And a thumb rule I have is that the ratio between your largest city and your second largest city, the population ratio should typically not be more than 3:1, maximum 4:1. And when it is too concentrated in one place, it leads to a lot of resentment in the other regions. In the developed world too, France has a problem because of that Paris, the ratio is 6:1 in terms of population compared to the second largest city of Lyon. In UK too, it's a bit of a problem where the largest city is London, and then the second largest city, the ratio of population is 1/4 that of London. The successful countries, you have whether it's got to do with, countries in Europe such as Germany or or even like other countries like Switzerland, the population is much better spread out rather than being too concentrated in one place. I think in Sri Lanka is like a problem as well. One of them is the fact that so much of the population is around the Colombo area, and after Colombo there really isn't any big urban center.
Stay tuned. We will return after this short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. The Cabinet of Ministers has given the green light to an ambitious plan proposed by President Ranil Wickremesinghe aimed at revolutionizing the country's agricultural landscape. Cabinet co-spokesperson Minister Bandula Gunawardena said this, speaking at the post-cabinet press briefing yesterday. The measures include the establishment of a national policy framework engaging industry experts and the creation of a dedicated secretariat under the office of the President. The Cabinet has also sanctioned the formation of agricultural sector modernization services and awareness centers at the divisional secretariat level. The strategic move seeks to foster sustainable development at the grassroots level. The approved program also includes crucial legal amendments, notably to the Agricultural Development Act. This legislative support is seen as pivotal for the seamless execution of the proposed modernization program. The primary objectives of this initiative are to enhance farmers' income and productivity, regulate markets, and boost the production of export-oriented products. The Sectoral Oversight Committee on Environment expressed concerns over the lack of coordination among key agencies dealing with the aftermath of the Express Pearl disaster. This was convened when the Sectoral Oversight Committee on Environment, Natural Resources and Sustainable Development met in Parliament recently. The committee raised questions about the progress in providing compensation and sought insights from the expert committee appointed by the Marine Environment Protection Authority. MIPA officials reported that they haven't received a proper response from the Attorney General's Department regarding the activities of the expert committee. They mentioned receiving information from the Ministry of Justice about the appointment of an international independent expert committee to assess damages. The lack of coordination and communication has left the MIPA expert committee uncertain about their next steps. The committee also addressed issues affecting fishermen's compensation due to poor coordination between the MIPA, the Ministry of Fisheries and the Attorney General's Department. Given the magnitude of the disaster, the committee has decided to seek cabinet approval for further research by the expert committee and to allocate necessary facilities. The outgoing New Zealand High Commissioner Michael Appleton paid a farewell call on Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena at the Temple Trees in Colombo on Tuesday. The outgoing High Commissioner expressed gratitude for the strong bilateral ties between the two nations. High Commissioner Appleton commended Sri Lanka's remarkable recovery in facing the challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic and the unprecedented economic crisis. He recalled his arrival in Sri Lanka 3 years ago when the country was grappling with the impact of the pandemic. He noted the significant progress made since then, highlighting the influx of tourists as a testament to Sri Lanka's effective crisis management. High Commissioner Appleton thanked the Prime Minister for the decision to reopen Sri Lanka's embassy in New Zealand shortly. In return, Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena extended his gratitude to New Zealand for providing expertise for Sri Lanka's public sector reforms program. The discussions during the farewell call covered various aspects of bilateral relations, including economic challenges, debt restructuring, trade and investment, and electoral reforms. Stay tuned for the stock update. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on positive notes today.
The All Share Price Index gained 30.64 points to close at 10,714.92 and the S&P SL20 gained 8.87 points to close at 3,093.23. The turnover was 0.7 billion rupees and over 29 million shares were traded.
Up next are Forex rates. That's all our news for today. For this and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook.